What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2 for 2, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voice of the culture. I'm your host, Quis, and I'm here with my boy Nell as always. And we got another episode for y'all today, man. It's the Big 4, and it's episode 40 of season 3. Nell, we're really deep into this thing, man. So everybody sit back and enjoy it. How you doing today, Nell? It's a good day. You look happy, stress-free.
Good to see you, my friend.
Is it?
I'm feeling good these days. I'm, like you said, stress free. I know you still got some of that burden on your shoulders. So how you feeling? Actually, enjoyed that game 4? I know I did.
I enjoyed it.
I had my popcorn. I was locked in for all 4 quarters of that ass whooping. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good. That was good to see. Good to see.
It's not usually how we open the show, with you talking crazy. But go ahead.
Might as well change your pace.
It is. I'm sure a lot of people will like that. Do you have anything else to say?
Nah, man.
Well, to answer your question.
Just some beautiful basketball, that's all. And
to answer your question, I had an awful Sunday, as you know, for the reasons that you just listed.
Bad Mother's Day? This Sunday was about Mother's Day. It ain't about the Knicks.
I didn't get to see my mom.
Damn. And the Knicks
get beat by 30. My mom at least would have made it a little more comforting for me. But she didn't even text and check on me, actually. It's pretty crazy.
I mean,
I called her
that day was about her. She ain't worried about you and them corny ass Knicks. So, I mean, I don't blame her.
I don't have anything else to say. So we're going to go on to our regularly scheduled program, man. We're back on 2 for 2. As you can see from Nell's energy today, the playoffs are rolling. We 4 games into all the playoff games. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We're not going to get into the Knicks first. We're going to let them get down the pecking order because you started off hot. I need you to calm down. But the defending champion Denver Nuggets started off down 0-2. We were on here. We were like, yo, Ant has arrived. It's a wrap. Nothing they can do. Jamal Murray threw a temper tantrum. It switched just like that. Now we got a series now. 2-2. Both road teams won on the road. It's now evened up 0-0 essentially. But it's 2-2.
Best of 3.
Denver. Hey, you got 3 games. You got to get me 2. Ant, you got to give me 2. Jokic, you got to give me 2. But as we said, the Nuggets found a way. So now how did they do this? What changed, right? Rudy Gobert missed a game, but the Timberwolves won that game. Rudy came back. Everybody was like, ooh, it's going to be a wrap. Got a depoy, whatever. But champions find ways to win now. So take us through what you think the Nuggets did to go ahead and even this series out going back to Denver.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really think it's just as cliche as it is. I mean, guys just stepped up. Jamal Murray obviously had a much better game in games 3 and 4 than he did the first 2. Obviously, that Minnesota defense looked fantastic. Denver's a team that, they have their system. They're going to play through Jokic and Murray. They know what kind of coverages they're going to see, and they're going to run late in games. So it's really just about executing, and Jamal Murray's been playing a lot better. You see they've kind of taken him off the ball a little bit. They've had Aaron Gordon bringing the ball up more, kind of just keeping that Minnesota defense away from him, pressuring him full court, keeping him fresh. He's been able to knock down some shots, playing better. The MVP, Jokic, he's been doing his thing. So credit to them. I think it's more so about what Minnesota hasn't been doing. You can give credit to Denver's defense. They've played a lot better on Karl Anthony Towns. He had 20 in game 1. I think he had the big 27 and 12 in game 2. Only 27 points combined in the 2 games in Minnesota. So you just got to get better production out of Cat if you want to have a chance in the series. That's something that helped them win the first 2 games in Denver. Him, Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, like just a bunch of guys coming along for the ride with Ant-Man. We saw in game 3, Ant-Man didn't have the best game. He came out post-game, said, that's on me. I'll show up for game 4. And he certainly did with 44. So, and I think I saw something, he was minus 13 in the 2 minutes, 40 seconds that he was off the court for game 4. So his teammates got to come along for the ride, and they got to step up with him. So Denver, give them credit, hard for champion. It just came out with, more intensity, more fight. They've been there before. They know how to win, obviously. So, just really credit to them and, their main guys for stepping up and, understanding the assignment pretty much, and going in a hostile environment, down 0-2 on the road, and just executing.
Yeah, it was a perfect opportunity for Denver to fold. But like you said, man, those teams that have been there and that's done that, they know how to respond. Minnesota had all the momentum.
Boy, I would have loved the Jokic sweep the year he won
It
MVP.
would have been, and we'll get into that too, because
But it's all right.
MVP
I'm not.
season.
I'm done hating on Jokic. I kind of gave it up this year. Well,
Okay,
after Embiid went out, I just want
yeah,
to enjoy basketball. I'm tired of hating. I got to get that hate out my heart. I just want to enjoy basketball, except for those Knicks, them
I was
Nova
about to
Knicks. I
say
will not
the
like.
first 3 minutes
They
of the
on they
show.
on that list forever. Yeah, I'm allowed to hate on at least one team, and Denver is in the past. We moving on to the Nova Knicks. I
Okay,
like at this point. I used to laugh at the Knicks fans, still doing the Trae Young videos and stuff, but I get it now. I get it. When a midget just like destroys your franchise in the first round, like there's just a level of hatred that's born that you just can't get rid of. So I understand it. Like I'll
yeah,
be saying F Jalen Brunson until I die.
that is absurd. First of all, you called the man a midget. That's
All right, like
unnecessary.
my
All
bad.
right,
Like my bad. I apologize.
what do we
Tiny
got,
guard,
midget?
like tiny guard, man. Like them tiny guards, just
Y'all have one.
he's a good guy though.
Okay.
He's actually likable
Okay. Why? Jalen Brunson
because he
doesn't
plays
even
for the
talk.
Sixers.
Okay.
Yeah, but when he talks, it's super annoying, and he's always
Okay.
crying to the refs, foul B, and like I can go on and on about Brunson. Don't get me started, man. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
We talking about the Knicks. I mean, wait,
Yeah.
no, we talking about
You.
the Nuggets and
This
the
is your
Wolves. Let's
doing.
just get back to that. My fault.
Yeah. Let's get back to that. Ant is doing his thing, right? He's performing. He's showing up. There will be no if the Timberwolves completely just piss this thing away. It won't be because of Ant, right? But to your point, they found a way to slow down Cat. It's all those other guys in the playoffs. You know, it's the role players that really kill you. You kind of expect your stars to do what they do, right? But you look across the playoffs, right? You hate Josh Hart, right? That role player, right? You see what PJ Washington is doing down in Dallas right now, right? So those extra guys that you don't account for, like to get 20, are usually the problem. Not saying that Cat isn't, because Cat, they expect him to get there, but they got Nas Reed over there. Kyle Anderson in that game without Rudy played is in. Mike Conley have been doing pretty well. I know he's got a little injury right now. So really for both sides, right? Like on the flip of that, Denver has Aaron Gordon performing. I mean, that's what 2 20-point game performances in the playoffs right here. While Jamal Murray is kind of trying to figure it out still. While Jokic is still performing, like that's hard to overcome
And
for
an
any
efficient
team.
11-12 for
Yeah,
Aaron Gordon
right,
too. So like
right. So
that's tough when Murray's going off and Jokic is going off.
exactly. So you got the two best players doing their thing, and then their role players. Those other guys are not just filling it up, but they're efficient. He's rebounding still. He's to your point, moving Jamal Murray off the ball, letting Aaron Gordon bring it up, initiating the offense differently. Because what do the Timberwolves like to do? They like to get up and pressure you, right? They're gonna make your guards work the whole way up the floor, get you into your set, and then you also relying on that same guard to come score. I mean, it's tough. So what better way to adjust than the moon? We'll move him off the ball. We'll have him coming off screens, and I'll get into this a little bit later when we talk about Jalen Brunson because that's what we need to do tonight. But that adjustment alone, by Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets, I think that put him over the top. I mean, defensively, like you said, slowing down those other guys, right? If Ant has an off night, the Timberwolves are probably going to lose more often than not. But imagine if he has an off night and then everybody else has an off night, you might beat them by 20. And that's the kind of game that will turn the whole tide of a series. So, hey, shout out to the champs. They're the champs for a reason. It's going to be a real good series. Like you said, Nell, we got 3 games. Somebody got to win 2 of them things, and 2 of them are going to be are 2 in Denver? Oh wait, no. Minnesota is
Yeah, Denver has
oh yeah.
home court.
Yep, Denver has home court. So they'll have 2 games in Denver before this thing is all over. But hey, I want Ant to spoil the party. I'll hate a little bit. I don't like seeing
still
the
think
same
the
stuff.
Timberwolves are in good position to still have a chance to win this series, but I don't know. I think Denver might have figured something out, and like I said, Cat, it's going to depend on Cat. He's got to show up. He's kind of an equalizer for them. when he's going offensively, him and Ant-Man at the same time, like it's tough to stop. But just like with the Nuggets on the other end, when Murray and Jokic are going off and all of a sudden you've got to throw all your attention at them, and then he's hitting Aaron Gordon for easy lobs. He's hitting Michael Porter Jr. and KCP for open threes. Denver is just unstoppable, it seems like sometimes.
And that's why I'm worried, because Michael Porter hasn't been playing great these last two.
Yeah, 4 points last game. That was you don't really see that from him.
For Minnesota, a guy like that, that's high volume. Like, he shoots the ball a lot. He shoots a lot of 3-pointers. Those are backbreakers, honestly, because he come out, hit 3 straight, and now you like, what the hell? The game just started. Now it's a long night, and Jokic and those other guys haven't even gotten going. So Minnesota, they got some things to do. They got to adjust. We're gonna really see the makings of these young guys and Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. I guess we can't really call Cat young no more. He like our age, kind of old, but I mean, nonetheless,
status.
He a vet, but he's still a young guy in the terms of this whole playoff thing. Sniffed the play-in a couple of times and start crying. But I'm going to leave Cat alone. He got Jordan Woods. That's a good brother right there. But I'll let you get to what we want to talk about, right? This is what you came on here to talk crazy about, right?
Yes, sir.
Nell texted me early this morning. I knew he was excited. Early this morning, I'm like,
yeah, I'm just trying to
ain't even got to work yet. And I see
I was ready for the show. I want to give you some time to look over the notes. Like, that's all.
Hey, man, another series is tied up 2-2. In this series, though, the home team won both, right? Knicks Pacers. We got 2-2 going back to New York. The Pacers, as Nell started to show off, reminding everybody who might not have known, they just beat my Knicks by about 35.
You
Sunday.
Sure?
I don't remember. I stopped watching. I told you that.
I feel like it was more.
That
score did get out of hand. It did get out of hand. I was like, golly.
At the end of the day, a win and a loss.
I was like, how many points y'all gonna score?
All right.
God damn.
So
they just kept running it up. My bad. Let's not get sidetracked.
The question is now.
I was like, am I watching the Harlem Globetrotters? This score is getting out of hand. Who let the Washington Generals on the court?
So
My bad. Go ahead. Your question.
So the momentum has swung into the direction of the Indiana Pacers. No, I know how you feel. But I have to ask, are the Knicks still in the driver's seat, or is this series fully in the Pacers' hands now?
I firmly believe that it is in the Pacers' hands.
Firmly.
But firmly.
Okay,
like the SpongeBob episode where he's like firmly grasp it.
I'm not playing into your thing.
No, but like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Go ahead.
And he's putting the jellyfish thing in Squidward's hands, and he's like firmly grasp it. Okay. Anyway, but something about those Knicks, man. Seems like they got an angel watching over them. It felt like up until them last couple games in Indiana, it just felt like every loose ball went to the Knicks. Every call went the Knicks' way. DiVincenzo's making every three. Josh Hart's making every three, getting every offensive rebound. Hartenstein's making that ugly push shot. OG strapping everyone. Like,
that was happening.
Pacers go up double digits. Knicks cut it to 2 in like a minute 30.
All of that was happening.
You just couldn't keep that Knicks team down.
You still can't.
But what's OG status looking like for the game?
He's out.
Yeah, wrap it up. I mean, it just, look, you've seen it. We saw it during the regular season. He came, they went on a crazy streak. He went out, they looked like trash. He came back, they got the 2 seed. I mean, like, he's certainly like up there with Jaden McDaniels and, a bunch of the great defensive perimeter guys that we got in the league. Like, he might be that guy. Like, he just makes insane that leads, gets them out in transition, makes it easy for them to switch. Obviously, the Knicks are already hit with a bunch of injuries, so, like, depth is obviously a huge question mark going forward. Pacers play they try to play, as fast as, any team in the league. There's a lot of disadvantages for the Knicks right now. But, like I said, that small, tiny Nova point guard, I apologize for calling you a midget earlier, but I apologize to the midget community. I mean, not the small people community. Like, my bad. All right, I'm wilding. I'm just gonna stop talking. My bad. Anyway, I don't know that guy can pull out a 40-point game at any given time and keep his team in it. So like, I'm never gonna say never. You telling me that OG's out? Like I said, firmly grasp it. I think the Pacers are in prime position to take this series over.
I like that. That was a good synopsis. You went all around the world, and you know what I was hoping for. I was hoping that you mentioned how it all turned. You know how the tide kind of turned. I think you got to it. You got to it, but you just missed it just a little bit. You just missed just a little bit. When a team goes out and submits 78 missed calls that they felt
rightfully
missed,
so,
right? Similar to what your team did, right? You remember that?
Rightfully so.
Usually that whistle mixed with the fact that you go back home, it changed a little bit. It changed a little bit.
Didn't change for us, but like, yeah.
I know it did. It did. And I think that was what we saw. You know, so I'm glad you touched on that. The injuries, right? Yeah, OG Anunoby going down, that it might stick a fork in us. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, we just at the end of the day,
Dagger.
At the end of the day, we just the lowly Knicks, man. We already dealt with injuries, right? Our second best
y'all
player's
gonna be
been
that
out.
forever.
Our second best player's been out. You know what will forever be a thing though? that L next to Philly in the 2024 first round. That's something that I will always remind you of for the rest of your life.
Got an asterisk next to it, so it's cool.
Right. You know, we missed our second best player, Julius Randle, because Jaime Jaquez is a dirty player sometimes. Hurt my boy's shoulder. You know, we got Mitchell Robinson, surgery repaired ankle. You know, we go play Embiid and he starts grabbing people.
Hey, wrong ankle. Wrong ankle.
I mean, but it all plays together. It's the human body. Like, what are we talking about? Wrong ankle, but
he barely touched the ankle, man. Let's chill.
You know, Bojan Bogdanovic, our best scorer off the bench. If y'all remember, he was almost a 20-point per game scorer before he came to the Knicks.
Yeah, but he wasn't that on the Knicks.
What did y'all do to him? What did y'all do to him? Nick Batum rolled over the man's ankle. But if you knew, he was already playing with a messed up left wrist. So when your man sat on his leg, he said, you know,
he was playing hard.
Right. Nick Batum.
My bad. What else do you want? Y'all was diving for every loose ball.
Right. We had
to match you
without taking out ankles. That's all. That's the only difference.
I mean, there was a play that OG almost got Maxi's ankle.
Almost.
Okay, like
in this.
We not fragile like you, so relax.
The Sixers are not.
All right.
So you take all of that into account.
Don't worry, we making room for y'all.
On top of the fact that now what they're doing is, you know, what was it? Third play of the game. Jalen Brunson's hobbled with an injury, and your man lands under him, and then you gonna text me talking about he crying for a foul, like the man didn't just try to break his ankle. So look,
stop foul
enough
baiting.
of the excuses, because at the end of the day, you play with who you got.
Enough excuses.
But
and y'all got y'all ass whooped.
I will just say, yeah, they did kind of get to us, but I still think we're in the driver's seat because of what you said. The Knicks have that man. That little man that you're talking about is that man. The number 4 in MVP voting. The only American in the top 5. Or however that goes. You know what I'm saying? That man can and will get us 40 tonight. He will get us 40 on Thursday, and we're going to go ahead and stop playing around. Now, some adjustments have to be made. I like what you said earlier about Jamal Murray being used off the ball. The Pacers like to pick up full court because they got 12 guys that are all kind of mid, so they just play them all, right? Boom. You can play. I mean, be real. You can play everybody when your team's not that good. You can play everybody. So you press up. Boom. We don't need Jalen Brunson to try to beat the press himself, get us into something himself, and probably score it himself. Not a good recipe. Now, I do not like watching Josh Hart dribble, but he's going to have to do it today. Dante DiVincenzo is going to have to be a better ball handler today. We got to get Jalen Brunson going. We got to get him going early, because I think what we do is we get into these running up and down matches with these guys. And like I said, they got 12 guys that's trying to run up and down. We done made Obi Toppin look like a king. I'm getting sick of it. TJ McConnell, I'm getting sick of it.
It's revenge series. Hey, TJ is like that, boy.
I didn't say
TJ is like that.
Didn't say he
That's
wasn't.
LeBron. That's LeBron James. That's one of LeBron's favorite players right now.
Yeah, and watch if he go to LA, we gonna never know who he is again because LeBron gonna ruin him. But that's neither here nor there. So all in all, I mean, what we saw is that the Knicks are capable of winning these games and controlling the games, and they might be ugly, but that's how the Knicks win, right? You know that, and the Knicks get ugly wins. Without OG, it's gonna be tough. That was our second leading scorer. Man had 28 points in 28 minutes before that hamstring almost fell off the bone. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate turn of events, but we also, to your point, we played a good chunk of the season without him. So we know how to win games without him, and that's my point. Well, we will adjust. You'll see a much different Knicks team. You know, we got 3 games, like you said, so we got to win 2 of them. 2 of them at the Garden. Shit, the Garden might be all we need. We don't need OG. We got the Garden, so we need that joint rocking, and we gonna get it going. You know, I don't really believe in the Pacers. I believe they're that front runner thing that Bobby Portis was saying. I see it a lot. It's really frustrating, and it's funny that a guy like you would like a team like that because they don't fit anything that you desire other than to see me and the Knicks like fail. But
So they fit the number one thing that I need in a team.
I guess so. To your point, but the Knicks are in the driver's seat, man. It's okay. Like we said, we got the Garden. You know, we've been here before. Hard nosed guys. You know, we just let them get they. You know, it was Mother's Day. The guys wanted to get home to their wives, man, to their moms. We won't sweat in that Sunday game. We wanted to get back to New York, get healthy. You know, we got a much needed rest. Yeah. Much needed rest. So
I bet they only had to play that much. Shit was over after the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. It
sure was. Zach Brunson after that.
Could have.
He ain't put no dent in that score.
I mean, 30 is 30. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's getting wide open threes. Most of their points are wide open. It's just actually kind of disgusting. And if they do that crap tonight, you can cancel the show. I'm not coming back on here. So,
hey man.
But moving
on. That's what happens when you know your best defensive playmaker is missing.
Both of them.
You look sorry.
Both of them, him and Mitchell Robinson. I just want to continue to harp on the fact that we're missing 3 starters.
For
y'all that don't know, you know, Isaiah Hartenstein did not start for the Knicks. He was working his way out the rotation before my boy Mitch got hurt. You know, Julius Randle, all-star, 24, 9, and 5. That don't grow on trees. It don't grow on trees. OG Anunoby, the best defender in the league, you know, had 28 points in that game. Like I said, one of his best scoring outputs as a Knick. So that's just pretty trash. That's a pretty turn of events right there to kind of do my boys dirty. But it's okay. There's more series to talk about.
You play with what you got. We play with what you got.
Yeah, I want you to use that when y'all tell me about Embiid's knee for the 30,000th time. But
he played.
Like I said, yeah, he did.
He played.
He did a great job. He did a great job. We're gonna move on though.
He was hobbled.
Because the Mavericks and the Thunder are also still playing, unlike the Sixers. And let me tell you, they're having a great series, man. Another series now that is tied up 2-2.
You just wait until the Pacers finish this in 6, boy.
We're not talking about the Knicks anymore. We're moving on.
No, I ain't moving on.
It's not gonna happen.
Let me pull up some highlights from the game. Right, Game 4 right now.
No, we're not.
That's what I'm in the mood for.
We're not doing.
That's what I'm in the mood for.
The Thunder have tied it back up. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the young guys have figured it out. It seems. I was on record after Game 1. I was like, I don't know. This one might not be close. Or was it Game 2? What game was it when the Thunder won Game 1? Am I tripping? Right. So it was after Game 2 when the Mavericks won. They won 2 and 3.
Yeah, I've been a Mavs supporter, but I'm a little worried.
Yeah, everything I was saying, let's just take it away, right? I don't know. At this point, I think the Thunder have very, very philosophy, right? They have a very good roster that fits that philosophy. They're kind of like the Pacers, but with a legitimate like star plus another one. Like I don't really believe in Halliburton, but Shea, you know, that's the guy that should have won the MVP. You know, Chet.
You don't believe in the best point guard in that series?
Chet is, you know, any other league year and it's not Wemby right there, you know, he might be rookie of the year. Jalen Williams, you know, that's one of Walt's guys. Great player. And you add in, like we said, the role players, you know, the Isaiah Joes, Lou Dortz. I would say Josh Giddey, but he don't really do much. Aaron Wiggins, all those guys, man, they make it really hard. So with that, are they back in the driver's seat of this series now, or does Kyrie and Luka, do they have something up their sleeves? Jason Kidd, they can put something together to go ahead and finish this one.
I think I still like the Mavs in this series. I think what the Thunder are doing defensively, kind of forcing the Mavericks role players to beat them, it's a great strategy. And especially with Luka, dealing with the knee sprain, he hasn't looked himself, pretty much this entire postseason. He's had a couple of really good games here and there. He hasn't looked his usual self. I think 4 of his lowest scoring playoff games have come in this postseason run. 6 of 20 in game 4, just not looking great. Kyrie's been in single digits a bunch of games. So give the Thunder a lot of credit. They've really been able to kind of keep their 2 stars in check. Obviously, PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway, those guys kind of started to pop off in games 2 and 3. Even game 4, it kind of looked like the Mavs kind of had that in check, even with Kai and Luka struggling. But give Shea and the young guys a lot of credit in that fourth quarter, making a bunch of tough shots and really locking in defensively. We'll see what game 5 looks like, but I still think if Luka can give them, like I said, it's a best of 3 at this point. If Luka can give them 2 MVP level games, or even if Kyrie can come along and give them a 30-point game, a 40-point game here or there in 2 of these next 3 games, I think they still have a great shot to win this series. Obviously, the role players got to knock down shots because that's what's been open the whole series. I believe Luka and Kyrie are going to have their moments somewhere in these next 3 games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I wanted to get on here and I had a lot to say to Kyrie, or about Kyrie rather, because to your point, the Thunder's entire philosophy here is to take the ball out of their hands. Every time Kyrie Irving gets the ball and calls for a screen, they're doubling him. They're blitzing him. They're making him get rid of the ball. And because Kyrie is, he has a high basketball IQ, he's playing really good basketball. It's just, he's just taking what they're giving him. He's playing off of that because it's putting his team at an advantage. Now, but what you see is there's moments in the game where it's like, we need one, Kyrie, we need one. And we still playing through PJ Washington, or we looking for Gafford. And like Kyrie's assist numbers are up because he's playing the right way. He's getting guys facilitating the ball, getting them on time where they can score, finish, whatever. But to your point, we're gonna need that Kyrie game. It's gonna have to be some times where Kyrie's just like, look, I'm the healthiest guy on this team, or not healthy, but out of me and Luka, I gotta go.
That's where the mid-range game comes into play. You can't always get to the rim. You step back 3, the contested 3 in the playoffs. That's just not always going to work. And we saw it with Shea. They said he made, I think, 10 mid-range shots in game 4. That was the most in a long time. I know Chris Paul's done it a couple of times, but you don't usually see people hitting 10 mid-range jumpers in a game, let alone in this era. So, being able to just get to a certain spot and pull up and not have to worry about, well, if I can't get all the way to the basket, especially with Chet, he's been great protecting the rim. And, on the Dallas side as well, they've been great protecting the rim this series. But, Shea and Jalen Williams, they're really good at getting to their mid-range spots. And that kind of propelled them to that winning game 4. I'd like to see, that's not really Luka's game, but I think Kyrie obviously has much more of that mid-range in his game, and definitely need to see him utilize that more over these next couple of games in the series.
Right, and they have to. It's down to that point where if he doesn't, I mean, they're not going to have a shot. Like you said, Chet protects the rim really, really well. There's already the threat for the Daniel Gafford lob because you've shown it to him so many times, right? There's already the threat of the drive in the corner kick. So at this point, hey, Kyrie, some of these passes just got to be shots. I think he shot 14 times last game, maybe 12.
I think it was
the game before.
11.
What was it?
I know he's 4 of 11 one game.
4 of 11, 10 of 17, 2 for 8, and 7 for 14. And he's playing 40 minutes a game. This is Kyrie Irving. This is a guy that we talked about. He was one of the top 5 guys left in this thing, and I still stand firmly behind that. But that's just not enough shots. That's just, you're not gonna. You shoot 10 shots. Let's say you make all 10 and they all not 3-pointers or they all 2s. That's 20 points. That's not enough. When Shea's going to give you 34, you're getting anywhere from 15 to 22 from Jalen Williams. You're getting anywhere from 10 to 20 from Chet. You got hobbled Luka. PJ Washington's playing out of his mind right now, and he deserves a lot of credit, but they're giving him them shots. They're okay with him hitting 5 of them threes. They'll say, hey, hit 5 again. and hit it again and again and again. And we'll take our chances. I just want to see, Kyrie take that action, take over as that guy that's been there before. Because like you said, the Mavericks don't have that. Simply put, Luka, he made his run before, but to get him over the top, that's what you brought a Kyrie Irving in here for. So I want to see Kyrie, really take the next step, because I still do think they have a chance. Even despite the way that the Thunder are playing, that last night, or when they played in Game 4, rather, they kind of pulled that one out towards the end of the game. So I think Dallas has a pretty good shot to go ahead and handle business here. But on the other side, man, there's one other series that we got to talk about a little bit, if not even a whole lot. The Cavs and Boston. It's 3-1. They're the lone series that's not tied up. Donovan Mitchell is now nursing a calf injury. Made him miss Game 4. Tough loss for the Cavs. I don't think they can overcome that. But do you think there's any shot
No.
for Cleveland?
I didn't even waste my time with this game once I saw the Don was out. So, I mean, they put up a good fight, but you just weren't even going to be able to match Boston's talent without Donovan Mitchell. He's been scoring wise playing really well this postseason. They just couldn't really score enough. And Tatum and Brown stepped up, had big games. So even without them not having Kristaps this series, they've been able to power through that. And like I said, it's pretty much Boston, versus the field. Like I said, it's a cakewalk for Boston to get to the finals, in my opinion. If they didn't complete the job this year, I would be shocked.
So with your cakewalk theory,
yeah,
they got a injured.
Yep.
Handled them. You got the Cavs, and now they got their best guy
even somehow
injured.
lost the game in that series.
Exactly. They dropped one in this series. Donovan Mitchell's now hurt. He'll probably play Game 5, I would have to assume. But, that's not saying
maybe
that he'll
not.
be 100% healthy.
He probably ready to.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's not trying to be in Cleveland anyway, so he ready to go ahead and
might have played his last game in Cleveland.
Which is crazy, right? They either get the Pacers, the young Pacers, or the injury-ridden Knicks.
It don't matter if the Knicks were healthy or not.
That's why.
It wouldn't have mattered if the Knicks were healthy.
It doesn't matter. You're messing me up. See how you doing this?
Would have been with that sweet.
It would not even close if the Knicks were not even close. But it's not about
game
the Knicks.
By like 30 plus.
It's not about the Knicks. It's not about the Knicks. With that, do you think this run, this cakewalk of theirs, rather not a run, it's a cakewalk, does that hurt them? Say when they get to the finals and have to play against Denver or Dallas or Minnesota or OKC, because these teams have been tested.
Before Minnesota was up 2-0, I kind of thought the Nuggets were on their way out. But honestly, I don't think the Celtics have anything for the Nuggets. Like, I don't think they have a matchup for Joker, like, at all. You saw in both regular season games, albeit just regular season, but you can kind of see, like, Kristaps just, he's just no match, and you're not going to play Al Horford the minutes required for him to try to, even he wouldn't be able to guard Jokic, but, you're not going to be able to play multiple bigs in that series. That's pretty much the only team really standing in Boston's way. I would favor Denver in that series. Boston, I guess you'd still have to give them a chance, but I don't think it'll hurt them. Like I said, I mean, they play one way. They gonna shoot that three about 40, 50 times a game, take advantage of some mismatches. I mean, I hope the cakewalk kind of messes them up when they get to the finals and they lose. Like,
that hate go. There it go.
Nah, you're right. All right, two teams. We open it up to two teams. We open it up to two teams. That's it. That's the only two teams that I hate: Boston and New York.
All right, fair enough. We hope, hopefully that cakewalk continues for Boston. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have something to say whether the Knicks win or not. I'm right with you. We finna.
I mean, they're not going to face any competition until they get to the finals. So,
all right. So with that, we said we got some other series that are 2-2. Rapid fire. Who wins them? Let's go Knicks, Pacers. Who you got?
Pacers easily.
All right. In 6?
Why not?
Okay, cool. I'll go Knicks in 6. Cool.
Let's just go four
Minnesota,
straight on them.
sure. They might, right? Minnesota, Denver. Who wins it?
It's kind of hard for me not to go with Denver at this point. Minnesota dropped the ball big time, not winning at least one of those home games. Like that way, even if you lost game 5 in Denver, you got an opportunity to close out at home in game 6. I don't winning 2 in Denver, that was like shocking enough. And it's not to say it can't happen again. Like I said, I think especially the way they play defense, I think that travels, and I think that's always going to give you a chance. But I think Denver kind of snatched that momentum. I think they kind of figured out ways to exploit Minnesota's defense. And like if Cat doesn't show up, they don't stand a chance. Ant-Man can't win this series by himself. So I'm gonna go
Okay,
Denver.
cool. I'm gonna go Minnesota. I'm gonna believe in the young guy. Like you said, that defense travels. All you need is don't let Aaron Gordon get 20. You might have a shot. And that's obviously easier said than done. I think Minnesota's been preparing for this moment for years. And I think now is the time. I think now is the time. If they have a guy that can get them over the edge, it should they need it in the end, right? That's what you need. Cat is going to play better. I think he'll perform much better moving forward. I think Nas Reed as well will have a big game coming up. So I'm gonna go with Minnesota, just because I don't want you to be right. But lastly, OKC and Dallas. I know you said Dallas is still in the driver's seat, but does Dallas
I'm
win
right.
it?
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas. I predicted Dallas, Denver, Western Conference Finals, so I'm sticking with it.
Well, there you have it. I'm with you. I'm going Dallas as well. I don't think it's time for the Young Bucks quite yet. But it will be fun to watch him play, and it'll be fun to continue to watch him play. I think this is the year for Luka to kind of figure it out. And that, like you said, that Dallas Denver would be kind of cool, even though I think Minnesota's going to win. Moving on for the playoffs topics, man, just for a little bit to wrap this thing up shortly. The Hawks have won the NBA draft lottery. One of the other things that happened, Nick Landry Fields, the general manager of the Hawks, secured the first pick. That was the only good thing that happened for the Knicks on Sunday. What should they do with that first round pick? Some people say they need to trade. Some people say they should stay put. Should they be shopping Trae Young right now with that number 1 pick in Atlanta?
I don't know, man. Honestly, Trae, he just came off averaging 25 and 11. He's only 25 years old. I think you still got time on it. So whether that's trading the pick, which, I mean, we've heard that this draft isn't star-studded. I don't know how much of a asset that number 1 pick is this year, but obviously I'm sure you can still get something for it. But I think they should still try to add to the team and add around Trae Young and try to see if they can do something with him. He did take the team to a conference finals before. Just keep trying to ways to improve the team. I don't think it's necessarily time to end the Trae Young era yet, but it's not looking good. Last couple seasons, not looking great.
I mean, I think you gotta shop him. I think honestly, if I'm Atlanta,
I just don't know if they're going to get anything back that's like,
I mean,
all right, yeah, this is the deal that we can take to move on.
but this is the problem though. They have to accept that the ship has sailed. It. What do they just want to be a perennial playing team for 5 years? Like, what do you want to do here? You
I
just
mean,
said
you
it,
can
right?
do a roster overhaul and still keep Trae Young. Like,
Mm.
is Trae
They
is
all
Trae
gotta
the
go.
problem? Is Trae the problem?
You don't like little guards? You tell me.
They they be
What?
killing us in the
What for?
playoffs. They
What's
be
y'all?
killing
That's
the
not.
Sixers.
That's not saying much though. You said it, right? You, Becky
Say
Hammond,
that.
everybody said it, right? You can't win with a small guard in the league. That's what they say about Jalen Brunson. Why has it changed for Trae Young? Plus, I think honestly, like
I mean, I
it's
ain't
not.
saying you gotta treat him as like the de facto 1A.
I get it. I
Like,
get
sure,
it.
you gotta get another head honcho in there, but like,
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, look, DeJounte can go. You got the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, the only realistic pick is Sar, and we don't even know what his ceiling is as an NBA player. Like, you about to draft what, Jaren Jackson Jr. comp at the 1? I mean, first pick. Like, that's cool. I mean, shoot, you might as well just. I mean, if not Trae, at least Capella has to go. At least DeJounte Murray has to go. Now you can move both of them, maybe add, whatever. But I've been seeing people saying, "Hey, trade everybody and build around Jalen Johnson and this number one pick that you got, and just get as many assets as you can around that, whatever, and see what you can do. I mean, the reality is the Hawks are not a contender, right?
I would get rid of
Walt
Hunter
said it.
before I got rid of Trae Young.
Everybody can go. That team's not good. That roster is not. That roster was not. It's just not it. It's not going to be it.
So if the roster ain't it, why are we blaming the best player on the roster?
Didn't blame him. I'm just saying, should they shop him?
I feel like if we're moving the best player on a team, we're kind of blaming him for not getting the job done.
Or you just realize that you're not going to win it with him. It's not really his fault, but it's not also like, okay, all right, okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to use that number one to get
what? Makes you think we can't win it with him? Like, what? Why can't we win it with him?
You saw what your ceiling was in a really passionate run, and out of that, the last 2 years, which you said, okay, Trae, you need some scoring around you. You need somebody to take some pressure off you. Insert DeJounte Murray. Move the needle not one bit.
Moved it backwards,
if any, right? But you kept everything else constant. You go draft they drafted a bunch of 3-and-D wings. You get DeAndre Hunter. You go get Jalen Johnson. You go get, what's the kid, AJ Griffin or whatever. Does he even still play for the Hawks? You got Bogdanovich that's supposed to be a shooter. I mean,
I think they need like a legit wing scorer.
I mean, of course, but that's the problem. Like, you ain't getting it. You're not getting it at one this year either. I mean, it's just
fair.
Like what? And then with that, like, who's trading for that pick?
Are you trading Trae Young a wing scorer possibly? And just putting DeJounte back at point?
I'm trading Trae Young to whatever I can get him for.
Whatever you can get him for. Bag of chips?
But okay, think about it. San Antonio, you need a point guard. All right. They got 2 picks in that top 8. They got 4 and 8. They also have a wing guy. They got a Keldon Johnson.
That's not
right.
That's not.
I'm not, but I'm saying that's like a little package of sorts. But the point is, Keldon Johnson still averages 18, 19 a game, and they don't even use him like they used to because they can't.
I feel like 18, 19 is spicing it.
I don't think I'm spicing it, bro. I mean, maybe this year I'm spicing it.
He seems like a
15.7. He averaged 22.
Okay, I was about to say. He seems like a 15 max.
He averaged 20-5 the year before they got Wemby, and 17-6 the year before that.
And you know like how they got Wemby, right?
They were sorry.
All right, then.
But the Hawks sorry. I mean, you talking about 25-11, and they drafted at 1. Look,
bro, but he averaged 20 in the conference finals run, so it ain't like these just empty stats. Like, he can give it to you on a good team or a bad team. Fair enough.
I mean, I don't doubt he can. I love Trae Young as a point guard. I just think that marriage has soured. Everybody's sake for this new era. We got the number one pick is ushering in a new era. Supposed to be, right?
That's is, but like this ain't there ain't no ushering in a new era type rookies coming out this year.
I get it.
I don't see franchise change prospects.
The question was, should they be shopping?
I don't see a Gilbert Arenas and then we the Wizards, we got the number 1 pick John Wall coming in, kind of changing of the guard type prospect to where it's like, all right, Trae, your time is up.
Okay. So, hypothetically, we keep Trae. We ship out nobody. We stay put. We add in Sar.
I ain't saying we can't ship out nobody. Somebody got to go.
Okay, so what are you getting for DeJounte? Nothing.
Sign and trade with Tobias Harris?
But do you want to take Keldon? Like, what are we talking about? We're done. We're done with the Hawks. The Hawks have gotten too much conversation from... In other news, I can't believe this man said no to Keldon and yes to Tobias. Like,
nah, this was just like
right.
I'm just saying, you just asking what they should. I'm trying to help my squad out.
You trying to? I get it. I understand. It's that time of year for y'all.
I know. I don't care what they doing in Atlanta.
Hey, speaking of Atlanta,
y'all need a wing scorer. I heard he's an assassin. He's an assassin scorer.
He a businessman.
Top dollar.
So.
Might get him for cheap this offseason too.
Nah, I hope not. I hope not. But to wrap this thing up, man, NBA draft talk, we talking about it. Bronny James looking like he's staying put in the draft. Well, he is staying put in the draft. So he had the combine. I actually watched this game this morning. 4 points, 4 rebounds in like 18
Oh
minutes.
shit! Oh shit!
And you know they posting the highlight clips. So I think I forgot the name they used, but they were like, if this man's name was anything else, y'all would not be posting this. But the point of this this speaks to what we're talking about. Is it too early to tell if Bronny made the right decision, or do you think this was necessary? You know, go ahead, jump ship, go pro, my boy. What do you think? Also,
I mean,
let's throw in the fact that they found out the man not 6'4", he's 6'1.5".
that's without shoes, but like fair.
I mean, is your
Look,
shoes making you 6'4"?
nah, he'd probably be like 6'2", 6'3".
6'3" cool. You go 6'3".
He has the wingspan too, so like it ain't like
I mean, no, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Some
I don't think it's
barbecue
that big of
chicken
a deal.
guard.
Yeah,
But,
I don't think
I
it's that
mean,
big of a deal.
I think I would have liked to have seen him get some more college reps. Obviously, it was a rough freshman season for him. Didn't get to play much, dealing with coming back from the situation with his heart in the summer. All of that, not being able to practice. I don't think he went through like any training camps or anything with him to start the season. So just not a lot to go off of. But we know who his father is, and we know that comes with a lot of cachet and a lot of eyes. We knew since he started playing high school ball, if he entered the draft and Bron coming out and saying, I want to play with my son, like playing with my son is a priority no matter where it is, like we kind of already saw the writing on the wall that there was a possibility, even if in people's eyes he's not an NBA player. And I mean, when you actually hear scouts and people that have seen him play, they say like he's raw, obviously, and they would have liked to have seen a little more in college, but he seems like he's can be an NBA prospect, whether that's spending time in the G League, how much he'll actually get to play in the NBA remains to be seen. But he's still extremely young. I'm sure once he gets to the league, they'll be able to help develop him. And obviously, he's got one of the greatest players of all time in his corner. So in that case, it's like there's always that chance that he comes back the following year. He has all the time to play. He has the eyes on him, and he doesn't perform the way that scouts expect, and that kind of kills his draft stock even more. Earlier, it's just a lot of potential, and the fact that LeBron wants to play with him and what that could do, for a team in a city. Possibly having LeBron come in just because of his son. So it's a fair move. He's going to get drafted. He's going to go to the league. That's kind of what he's been grooming himself for past 4 or 5, however many years. So if he's getting drafted, I feel like it's a good move. But I would have just liked to see him get some more reps because, like you said, nobody was going to post that highlight of him having 4 points and 4 rebounds if he wasn't his son. So it's just, we know how social media can get with certain NBA stars, and especially how they talk about LeBron. So once he gets into the league, and whether he plays or he doesn't, everything he does is going to be under a microscope and be compared to his dad. And it could be some nasty stuff going around, but that's what he signed up for. And
Yeah.
I'm interested to see this entire draft process and how it goes. Like, there could be so much hype around a second round pick. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, the second round picks don't get talked about. They
Right.
just
It,
you don't hear about them until the name gets called, and they're like, "Hey, this guy went to this school," and you start hearing the deep dive, and now we're gonna be hearing about him. Draft start 8 o'clock. We ain't talking
right.
about who the number one overall pick is. We talk about who could possibly draft Bronny James.
Mm-hmm. That's where we are. That's where it is. It's one of those things where I don't want to say that he's wrong. I don't want to say it's too early because, to your point, like if his name wasn't Bronny James, we probably wouldn't even really be talking about it, right? You know how many kids enter the draft that aren't ready yearly, right? But like you say though, Neil, like you on point today. Minus the Knicks take, bro. Like a lot of these
Nah,
dudes
I'm
are
killing it.
grooming them. No, you're killing it, except for that. But a lot of these guys are grooming to be pros because that's what they're being told, right? You're a freshman phenom, blah 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 blah, 5-star future NBA. All like these kids ain't going to college with the idea that I'm gonna just be here, win a championship, and then if I'm fortunate to get drafted, I will. Nah, you're getting put in mock drafts as sophomores in high school. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's no talk about is this too early or is it not? Like there's a lot of guys that do this every single year. You look at a guy, you be like, man, he didn't do nothing in college. Why he left? You know, why did he leave? And they do that. But it's also because, to your point again, you get to the NBA. To get to NBA, that's your goal, right? And what we're learning is that college isn't the only path there anymore. And if we're honest, we got a lot of guys going different routes and making it there. You know, you got guys going overseas coming back. You got guys going to the G League Unite, which I mean, you know, they broke that up now, but you know, going to the G League route anyway, and then going up to the league. So for Bronny, he like, look, I'm young. My freshman year of college, I had heart problems. I played out of position, and I got a late start. So at the end of the day, you can sell him as, look, despite all of that, he did this though. And then guess what? The hype is gonna come regardless. I think I read a tweet today, like Woj was talking about the guy's gonna sell out G League games already. The man, he's guaranteed to start in the G League and he's gonna be selling out games. So now we're talking about money. So it's like we know how this goes. The NBA is a business. So at the end of the day, the NBA makes a lot of money if Bronny James joins the NBA this year. Because like you said, on draft night, we gonna be everybody and their mom is gonna tune in, not to see who the Hawks pick first, not to see if the Hawks trade the pick, but they want to see what team is willing to take that chance to draft Bronny. Because then what comes after that? Is LeBron leaving? LeBron went to the Cavs game last night, and everybody like,
Yeah,
what's going
that
on?
bidding war is gonna be something. Lakers got, I think, 17th pick in the first round, maybe later. I think 17th though, and then they got a late second round pick. Like it's gonna be interesting to see
I mean, you know what I'm
what
saying?
they gonna do.
So that's
Can you
what all
imagine
this
a
boils
team
down to.
at like 16 just like drafting Bronny?
That would be absurd. The Knicks have pick 24 and 26 though.
You think the Knicks will take a shot?
Tibbs don't like rookies anyway. He'll waste them. Well, you know, we be drafting foreigners that
I
don't
mean,
ever come play.
Knicks could use a point guard.
We could. We could. Hey, if he works, he works. If not, we get Bron. But no, I doubt the Knicks do that. But I mean, aside from the business aspect of it, though, Bronny is also one of those guys, like you said, to his dad is LeBron James. He's going to be a consummate professional. He's going to play the game the right way, and he'll find different ways to contribute. If it's 4-4 a night, hey, you only playing him 7 minutes anyway. If it's to
It'll be an
lead your G
effective
League
4 and
team,
4.
you know. So and that's the point. I mean, he is an efficient player. He's not at that level yet, but I mean, he has all the makings of it. He's got the makeup. I mean, he's 6'3" with shoes on. You know, 6'1.5". He got the 40-something inch vertical. I mean, he shot the ball well. So, you know, you can stick him on the floor and he won't stick out like a sore thumb. But, you know, there's a lot of guys in the league now that, if we're being honest, just probably aren't ready to be pros yet. And they're pros. You know, I can't knock the guy. I won't knock the guy for that, man. So, hey, get your money, Bronny. I mean, he don't really need it, but, you know,
Yeah,
I
he's just
mean,
trying to play with his daddy,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
respect
you
it.
know, could fulfill the family dream. And like you said, nothing's promised that if he comes back and shows everybody what they want to see, that they're gonna love it. You know, they're gonna be like, he did that at Duquesne. We don't care.
And
Oh, well,
and if LeBron, obviously, this had to be a decision that he talked to about with LeBron and Savannah. If LeBron is given this the okay, he's obviously knows some things in the NBA circles, and he's hearing some things about, you know, where his son can get drafted. You know, if he's a legit prospect that, you know, teams are looking at. So, you know, I think he has his pulse on that as well.
yeah,
So I think he has an idea that he wouldn't just throw Bronny in the draft and have it be a chance where a team wouldn't draft him.
right. And it's like I think that goes back to my point that there's, especially in this year's draft where it's a weak draft, like there's going to be a lot of chances taken by teams, right? There's going to be guys that are drafted that don't deserve it. I mean, I don't want to say nobody deserves it. I don't mean it like that, but like that, you know, you're gonna be like, okay, cool. We
Yeah,
might never see this guy.
I was telling Walt, like, this could be a draft where it's like the best player is drafted at pick
Yeah,
22. Like
yeah.
you just
So if you Bronny and you go play G League, you're gonna sit for 2 years anyway. Go develop against pros so that now if you in an organization, they're building you to be what they want you to be when you come up, as opposed to just going playing college basketball where not all of the focus is on development, right? They're trying to win championships at the college level. You play high major college basketball, your coach is getting paid for him to win games. You might as well go G League and just develop and work on your game. You can go work out with your dad every day if you want to. You're going to be in the circles regardless. Somebody's going to take a chance on you. It's simple as that. I don't know why people hating. But we almost had an hour now. We got a rapid fire question. I don't even want you to get too deep into it. Did they get the MVP?
I mean, I've told you before. I don't think Joker had I guess a more impactful year this year than last year. He's hit that kind of like LeBron Giannis threshold where he puts up kind of the same numbers every year. He's gonna get you 25 to 27 points, 12, 13 rebounds, 7 to 9 assists. Like he's gonna stuff the stat sheet. The numbers are gonna look perfect. He's gonna be up there in the standings. So like he's an easy MVP candidate. I would have liked Shea to won it just because, youngest team in the NBA. I think the youngest number 1 seed ever. Him averaging 30 points a game, leading that team. No other All-Star. Jokic didn't have another All-Star either, but we know Murray, one of the best co-stars in the leagues. For all he did leading that team, it would have been nice to see him win it, but, I can't knock it. It's not like Jokic isn't the best player in the league, I guess you can say. Kind of hurt my heart to say that, but best player in the league, so I'm not really hating.
Yeah, I think Shea deserved to win it. I thought it was funny. The inside the NBA guys were like, they just give it to the guy that wins first place, and it's like, well, Shea won first place, so what do you guys know? The
criteria changes every year. That's why,
right?
That's really where the anger and resentment comes out, because it's just
right. It's like, what if he didn't win this year?
Is it a numbers thing, or is it a record with the numbers thing? I've always liked it when I've always preferred best player on best team. But then you have situations where it's like, well, why isn't Jason Tatum in that conversation? And it's like, Jason Tatum ain't really on that level. He ain't playing on the level of other guys. But it's also he has a more complete team, so he doesn't have to put up as dominating numbers as other guys on other teams. But criteria just always seems to be different. Either way, it would have been Embiid's unanimously if he didn't get hurt.
I mean, you're probably right.
He would have been been the second or third unanimous MVP.
Man, stop, bro.
Stop. He would have been unanimous. It would have been unanimous. I'm telling you.
Nell took 1 week to get right back to pushing this Sixers propaganda on here, and it's nasty.
There wouldn't have been the weight.
No.
35 a game, like
no, we didn't.
There wouldn't have been nobody else would have got a vote. I'm sorry.
All this means is that you should never be an MVP voter. It also means that we need new MVP voters and some clear-cut guidelines for such a prized award, because they're slowly diminishing its value.
He wasn't clear-cut MVP before his injury?
I didn't say he wasn't.
All right, then. So what is the problem? Why are you fighting me?
You just talking about unanimous.
You just said he was clear-cut. You just said he was clear-cut.
That doesn't make it. Giannis got a first-place vote this year.
It wouldn't happen if Embiid played the full season.
All right, so that's whatever.
They was looking at the field and was just like, I'm not liking these guys. that was the field. Like, if the field started with Embiid, they was just like, all right, Embiid. Yeah, like, it's like, I ain't Jokic, Jay, Luka. Like, I'm going to go Giannis. Like, all right. Embiid wasn't an option. So, of course, some people just were going in different directions.
I get it. I love that. That's a great synopsis now.
I think he would have been unanimous.
Okay. We'll leave with that. We'll let you leave off.
I know he would have been unanimous.
We will let you leave off right there. Do you have anything else you want to say, or is that's your Nell thing for today? Your Nell take. Unanimous.
Go Pacers.
Go Pacers. Hey, man. Fun episode now, as always.
Go Pacers. Go Pacers. Go.
I love the energy that
Go Pacers. Go Pacers. Go.
All right, bro.
Go Pacers. Go Pacers. Go.
Can I do my thing?
We are the Indiana Pacers.
I hate this dude, yo. But hey, man, Nell, great John as always, brother. That's gonna do it for this one. Season 3, episode 40, man. Like I said, the big
Next
4,
time I
that
see you,
40.
it'll probably be over. Knicks will
Hey,
probably
next time I
be on
see
their
you,
way. They're meeting us in Cancun.
undoubtedly the series will be over the next time we have to see each other. Don't text me tonight when the game is on, please. That's gonna do it for us at 2 for 2, man. Show love on all social media platforms that we got. We got the Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Spotify, the whole shebang. Man, follow, show love, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. That's gonna do it for 2 for 2. We out.